spend absolutely leathered the whole trip. Why would you not?
There was one night that was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard you at the one you were telling
There was
Casey,
one
I think
night it
about
was
stumbling
bad.
and you're like the etiquette of the Japanese people keeping in unison,
My-
following the rules,
My
and it
missus,
comes
my
Sammy
missus,
Sons.
my missus wanted to fucking disown me that night, bro.
Leave you in the streets of Tokyo by
She
yourself,
was she was hammered as well, but so she thought
handled
it
a bit of
was funny, but she's like, the look on the Japanese people's faces
feelings.
when you were trying to stand up, but then you couldn't walk straight, so you were running diagonally.
I got this. No, you don't.
Crouched as well. So I'm like doing these ones like a crab, just fucking zigzagging through Osaka.
Why? Because you're like, I gotta move. I can't keep to these strict lines.
We met these Americans and they're just the coolest people in the world. They were so cool, bro.
You gotta love the people you meet on trips.
You know when you meet people, you've been overseas.
Yeah.
You meet people and you're like, you're a friend for life.
Yeah.
Like you're a legend, and you're from like a totally different place.
Yeah.
And we happened to be at the same place at the same time. It was like and we hung out with them heaps.
Yep. While you were there, yeah.
And we got so loose one night because I think it was like American kind of versus Australian. But
who's going the hardest
But
here?
this American's 6 foot fucking 4 and built like G.I. Joe.
And you're like, we're on. All right.
And I was like,
This is
we're
the only
on.
thing- I don't want to have to fight you physically, but I'll definitely try and drink you under the table and give it a good hot crack.
We were getting hammered.
Go on, drink for drink.
And drink for drink. We were just having fun. And then I don't even remember what happened, but
Was
we
there
ended.
karaoke bars or anything involved?
No,
or just
yes.
straight up at it. Yes. Oh, yes.
So then we went to this club, and we were drinking heaps. And this is really weird to say, but when you when you go to the toilet in Japan, I need a cigarette. I'm sorry.
He's telling this story like it's a sex. I got a lot of cigarette for this. Like he's
No.
he's gonna. It's pleasurable.
So when you go to the toilet in Japan as a Westerner, the Japanese men really look at your penis.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird.
Make strong eye contact with it.
No, yeah, like they'll lean over.
Oh,
And they'll
the old sideways.
"Oh, what's
Crook
up?
the head.
Yeah,
Hey,
dude.
man.
Yeah, and they'll look at it, and I don't know if it's like because I'm a straight up grower, but it's still not horrible. But
Right,
you know
right.
what I'm
I can
saying?
see when you're saying
but
it's
like,
like
but it's not like have a look at that. It's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
It's like a little centipede when
Well,
it's fucking
also,
cold.
You know how your pubes maintained enough that can be.
Nah,
very
not
telling,
at all.
Not a telling
Not
story.
not
about-
even slightly.
So you've got mass coverage as well.
But anyway, the moral of the story is I went to take a piss, and then Michael went to take a piss after me, and I was sitting down with this bloke, and I was drinking, and I was like, "Man, do you have a problem with
boundaries.
Japanese men looking at your dick?" And he was like, "I wanted to say the same thing to you."
So it's noticed from a Western perspective that it's like
It's
is
weird.
Is this just why is it every bloke that we walk in they want to look at our junk?
Yeah, it was weird.
Looking at the white man's junk, mate.
But anyway, we fucking ended up there. We got hammered. I met a Japanese wrestler. He's in America right now.
Fantastic.
No, I seen this come.
Now, when we talk wrestling, we are saying legit
Taylor Ford.
Yeah, like freestyle wrestling, Greco-Roman wrestling.
Taylor
not,
Ford.
Not WWE.
Yeah, it's the hardest art in the world almost.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
No one likes doing it.
It's the hardest. Even in jiu-jitsu, when you know how important it is to consistently train wrestling, it just takes such a toll on the body to actually do
It's
it properly.
horrible.
It's
it's not horrible, but like it's grueling.
When you say Taylor, though, because she's going through it now, obviously, traveling
Yeah,
the world.
shout out to Taylor.
Yep,
Doing well.
traveling the world, doing all the competitions.
When's she back?
She was only back for like a week or two, and then she's off again.
But yeah,
I think she might be back now.
I seen this bloke with the worst cauliflower ears I've ever seen.
And yeah, you were just
Ever.
like, "That's my mate."
Ever.
Going with him.
But no, it was actual like disturbing. They were so bad, and he was 18.
Habib style.
Bad, bro, but they were lumpy. Like they were fresh because he's obviously very active. He's young, so
Just
they were
letting them
just
go.
they were just full and
Just
like
letting them
he
go.
must have trained that day.
Yeah.
But
Oh, so were they squishy?
I was like, he couldn't speak any English.
Yeah.
and he was like, I was like, oh my god, these, and I was like the ears. I was pointing at his ears, and I was like, legend.
He's like, "What? You very
Very
nice,
nice, good, very nice.
Your ears are good."
But I was like, yeah, you're a sick cunt. So we're gonna have a drink, and we ended up just drinking. I got him on Snapchat, and he just flew to America to compete and train there.
Oh, nice.
He must be good. His brother's an MMA fighter.
So is he using wrestling? Is he like straight up wrestling to do that,
Yeah,
or is he wrestling to fight?
He's a wrestler. I was asking him if he ever wanted to fight. He's like, maybe one day.
Oh, okay.
Still young.
So if he wasn't really speaking any English, were you getting real broken English?
Yeah,
like, what was the conversation style like?
You can kind of get each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. When you... Because I've travelled a fair bit, and like a lot of people I used to hang around with or don't speak English.
Yeah.
Or not English, but it's their second language.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a lot of ethnics, like older parents and shit, they don't.
Yeah.
And
See, plenty about on building sites now.
So you
Believe me, there's
kinda-
plenty of English as a second, even if it's a non-existent
you
language.
get used to these ones.
Yeah, hand gestures.
Yeah, and like you can
Good
kind of figure it
spiritedness.
out.
It's like we can keep talking
But-
to each other, but
Japanese is another thing that me and this dude Michael from Washington DC we fucking
state capital.
One of the moments I was like, this bloke's a mate forever.
brilliant.
He was we were talk. Yeah. What was?
Well, you can have that one. Otherwise,
Is there another? Is there another
kind.
flavour?
We got another kind, mate. We got some tropical haze here. You just let me know which one you want. We'll leave them both there.
One of the moments. What was I saying? Fuck right.
We were talking about Washington DC because the guy was there, a friend for life from America.
Friend from life, Michael. Yeah. I'm thinking of because there was so many stories with him. He was so fucking funny, bro.
So how many days did you hang out with him? How long? Were you there
only
for?
like 4 nights.
4 nights.
Yeah, but they were like days apart because we had
Were
a
they
similar.
staying close to you in the same residence?
We had a similar itinerary. So we started in Tokyo and we were staying in Shinjuku, which is the main city in Tokyo. Mm-hmm. And they have this little thing in Shinjuku called Memory Lane. It's this series of corridors that are as wide as where we're sitting to the wall.
Yep.
So it's a street, but there's like 200 restaurants on it because it's vertical. There's restaurants like two stories up. There's restaurants in basements.
The population level that they have
but
there
it's
for the
cool.
space that
It's
they
cool.
have. Yeah.
It's cool. But yeah, we sat down to eat and drink, and the bars are usually 6 to 8 seaters, and there was 2 seats left, so we had to sit next to them. Mm-hmm. So then we were drinking, getting hammered on the first night in Tokyo, and realised we had similar itineraries.
Nice. It's always a pleasurable thing. Especially, I haven't been to too many countries. One only like really springs. Wow, there's 2 that spring to mind.
Oh, sorry, I fucking found out the story. I know the story now that I was trying to tell.
Here we go.
So
He's back, baby.
So I just because I stopped thinking about it, it came to me straight away.
That's how it works.
We were out, and in Japan they got 2 dialects. I'm on a butcher. I don't want to even
Try
because there's 2 different dialects. There's main Japanese, and then in my knowledge of it, it's like a more accessible kind of broken Japanese.
Differentiation between Cantonese and Mandarin for Chinese.
I have no idea, but it's like you just add a "u" at the end of some words.
Brilliant.
I'm
sure it's way more. I'm sure it's way more complicated for anyone that speaks it.
So we were out because I was going around Japan talking to them, and they would understand, and I'd buzz out because I'd be like, baru, like bar, or like toilet pepu.
Yeah, okay.
But that's what it is. Because you tell them, and they're like, oh.
They get the gist of what you're trying to say.
Yeah, but so one night we were drunk as, and Yaz and Michael's missus are talking, and Michael's missus says, yeah, he's so fucking annoying. All he does is just go up to people and add a "u" at the end of everything. And Yaz like looks at her and he's like, what? She's like, what? And he's like, yeah, he just adds like "u" to the end of things and thinks he's speaking Japanese.
In English, he just
it's really,
says it in English.
It's really inadvertently racist. And then Yaz is like, Sav does the exact same thing. And I'm like, it does work, watch this. And me and Michael go up to this group of guys because we were looking for somewhere to drink. And we're like, baru. And they were like, baru. yes.
Yes. You're like, do you know what I'm trying to
And you
say?
turn around and you just see the girls like, oh. They were definitely humouring us. That was not a word.
Well,
They probably just spoke.
tried.
They just probably spoke English.
Yeah.
They were probably from fucking California.
That's what you say. It's always when it comes the other way. You always got to... Yeah, because the 2 times I remember Poland. I went to Poznan to watch a Euro soccer game.
Oh,
So
that
it
would
was
have been good.
Italy versus Croatia in the... what was it? 2016 Euros, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Poznan, so there was riots a few days before we got there between the Irish and the Polish because they played each other in the groups. Ireland versus Poland. Got there. Not many people speak English. There was a whole story about losing our place of residence.
Yeah.
Cab driver could luckily translate and speak some English. And let's just say we had to figure out where our location was going to be to still use our tickets to go to the game. Went to go watch the game the first night we got there. Not the tickets in the stadium. Watched out. Nearly got in a fight with a local group because they thought we were Irish because I had a red-headed mate with me and I was wearing a green hat. So essentially I had to go talk everything down to fear of not getting us bashed when things were getting a little angry. And ordering food and all this stuff. It was when Polish weren't speaking English.
Yeah.
It wasn't Warsaw. You realize when you go out of the tourist destinations in some of these countries, because you have one thing, we had to go watch the Euro game. That was the main reason we were there. Ordering food, finding accommodation, interacting with locals becomes very difficult, I found, when they don't speak a lick of English.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're going to gestures and you're like, if
thing
you
with-
really need to get something like train tickets, and you got to make sure that someone understands some English to make sure that you're not going
bro.
totally in the wrong
The
direction.
thing with Japan though that I feel is different is they're very nice, compassionate
Bit more
people.
receptive
They're very
tourists.
compassionate people. They will want to help you.
Yeah.
And so you can get away with signaling and shit. But in a lot of other countries,
Say older European countries, they're a
people
little more
aren't
traditional.
a lot of people aren't as nice.
Nah.
Like they're like not people aren't just cunts in Australia.
Nah, go out, because that's the other
You know
one.
what I mean?
That's the other one I heard of. Having an Italian background, obviously, I've been to Rome a few times, easier for tourists.
Yeah.
And then I went with my sister, and we had to stop off in Naples, and we heard the Nepalese can be little pricks if you don't speak Italian. So my sister spoke a little bit and staying around, but to get on the train, we had this old grumpy bloke in the train station, and he's saying like he doesn't understand what my sister's saying. I'm like, well, if you don't understand what she's got to say, I have got nothing for you.
Yeah.
And then I'm starting to get shit stared going, we're about to jump on a train and who knows where the hell we're going. And that's when my sister put me up. I'm like, this is a part of traveling. We're going to be fine. We're going to get there.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all going to be good. That was a little freak out of language barriers by traveling and being like, I got no idea if we're going to end up where we think we're going to end up, and then how dangerous that can possibly be.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I'd walk the streets out there, and there was an old police officer that ended up walking us around. He's like, this is dangerous. My sister's like, no, I'm just going to walk back now.
There's one thing that sketches me about going, because I really want to go to South America.
Yeah.
But it just sketches me because I
People
know...
just disappear sometimes.
No,
Is that what you're worried about?
I know how loose I can get.
Yeah.
Like, I know...
Oh, don't just walk in the wrong direction.
I know there's a little demon inside me. And I will... if I
We all have a little demon
because,
inside
bro,
us, mate.
I have been... People think they've seen me drunk in Australia.
You go holiday drunk.
When I get fucking holiday drunk, I've ended up on different islands 6 hours apart.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, man. You can't do that in the Amazon jungle, man.
That's what I'm saying. Because...
It's too dangerous.
You know my mate Jacob, the one that I did the podcast that we were talking about?
Yeah.
He's travelled the world. And I think he's gone to... he's done a lot of... He did a lot of South America. And I was like, I really want to do an expedition into the Amazon jungle.
Yeah.
I really want, like a safe one, like
You know that though, but knowing the risk that comes along with it, you'd have to know that you can't get plastered.
No, what I'd have to do is I'd have to go straight there first.
Right.
And then go back through... I'd have to go back through South America.
Yeah.
You know,
You
like
can
get that out
think
of it.
Think of it like,
And then
do the sober-minded thing first, and then obviously part of your holiday, you
Yeah.
don't want to get tanked, but go to a much
Yeah.
more populated region,
Yeah.
and don't get thrown to crocodiles or fed to snakes or taken off and stabbed somewhere randomly.
Nah, do you know
Because
what
you're
I'm
just
more-
like,
do you know
someone
what I'm
approaches you and you go like, this is a great idea. No, Sav, you got no one in your ear to tell you this is not a great idea, mate.
And you know, it's fucked. Because there will be a situation where someone's walking past like a toad and they're like, if you lick that toad, you hallucinate for 9 days. And
You will, and it'll just be a poisonous toad and you die.
There'll just be me from fucking Morphoville. What'd you say?
Sounds interesting. Tell me more. What kind of toad?
They just wait for him to walk 3 paces, then...
Flying Sav in the corner.
So what are you...
What are you doing?
Why are your lips...
said,
why are your lips fucking purple?
They're blown up. It wasn't a fish. I didn't have a puff of fish, that's for
I think
sure.
I got malaria.
Oh, no. That is a genuine concern that you were saying between yellow fever and...
I got to work my way up to that. Just so I do know, I got to work my way up to it because I think my abilities in that kind of scenario is way better than it because I've watched too much YouTube and survival things.
Right.
Like I think
you know what you're doing.
I think I know what's going on, but I don't.